on running. And don't forget, Browns carries a large arrangement of sizes and widths to fit your feet properly. Start your spring off right at Browns Shoe Fit, just south of 66th and Q in Lincoln.
Hi everyone, Kendall Warnock, A1 Automotive in downtown Lincoln. Spring is here, summer is fast approaching. With weddings, vacations, and weekend getaways on your mind, do not let car issues prevent you from getting where you need to be. Car problems shouldn't be something that you put up with. Let us get you back on the road in comfort and safety. We diagnose all makes and models from Porsches to Hondas, Toyotas, and Chevrolets. We fix a variety of issues with all of them with our talented techs and our experienced staff. A1 Automotive at 11th and L, downtown Lincoln, always honest answers.
It's the two-fingered wave on a gravel road. It's letting the kids take dad's truck to prom. It's Friday nights under the lights of a hometown football field. Eustace Body Shop knows small towns. It's where our values are rooted. We treat our people right, and in turn, they treat you, our customer, right. And we give back to our communities. Not much more small town than that. Eustace Body Shop, small town service, big city technology.
The most recommended Eustace Body Shop. That's who we are.
Mike, I've been thinking our house could really use a makeover. How about new siding?
I've been thinking the same thing. Have you heard of James Hardy?
Yes. Sarah down the street had Roofing Service Company install James Hardy siding on their home, and they love it.
Roofing Service Company does have great reviews.
They took her through the design process and made everything super easy.
Roofing Service Company offers expert design and installation. Couple that with James Hardy's durable products and variety of colors, you and your family will love your exterior remodel. Just visit roofingservicecompany.com. That's roofingservicecompany.com.
Rosie's Sports Bar and Grill, open for lunch and dinner at 1501 Center Park Road, just south of 14th and Highway 2.
Rashawn Jackson here for Bauer Infrastructure, a veteran-owned local company proudly serving Lincoln, Lancaster County, and the surrounding areas. Bauer provides quality work at an affordable price, and they're growing rapidly. If you want to experience a career with a fast-paced, family-friendly environment, visit BauerInfrastructure.com. They have top-of-the-line benefits, year-round work, even through the winter. Bauer, usher in the new era of infrastructure to an area near you. And as always, go Big Red.
In every office, there's two types of people. There are those who bring in bagels and those who eat the bagels that someone else brought in. Everybody likes the first person. Be that first person. Weekday mornings at 7:30, you have a chance to win a business box of bagels from Bagels & Joe. All you have to do is shut up, Sipple. 2 questions for you, 2 for Sip. Win, and the bagels are yours. Lose, well, you don't want to lose.
You lost Monday, you lost Wednesday, you're a loser.
Shut up, Sipple. Weekday mornings at 7:30, brought to you by Bagels & Joe. This is On the Block with Nebraska Basketball Hall of Famer and 9-year NBA vet, Eric Strickland. Nebraska Football Hall of Famer Jay Foreman, middle school basketball coaching legend and Duke basketball shooting coach in his mind, Austin Orman. Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America, on air and online at theticketfm.com. Sponsored by the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese. This is On the Block with Eric Strickland, Jay Foreman, and Austin Orman.
Welcome to it. Last show of the week here for On the Block with you for the next couple hours. I am Austin Norman, joined in studio by a couple of the best to ever do it in Husker Red. One of them with me right now, the OTBOG, E-Strick. What's going on?
Yeah. Yeah, we're in the building, baby. You know, it's another day, Friday. Let's get it. I know I wasn't here yesterday, but I was here yesterday.
You were here, but you weren't here?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so we've got a good show lined up for you guys today. Some good audio out of Matt Rhule. We'll get to talk about and debate. Obviously, the playoffs is still in motion, play-in game. Big one, I think, tonight. Mavs, Memphis is going down. Were you surprised that the Mavs were able to get it done on the road against Sac? You were rolling with Sac.
I was rolling with Sacramento. That is correct. I just thought the vibes were too bad in Dallas for them to put up much more of a fight, but credit them for going on the road and getting it done. I really think that's, pretty big indictment on Sacramento for not being able to get it done. But I think what it shows you, Strick, is it's now the second team that hasn't made it out of the play-in with Zach LaVine and DeMar DeRozan. And it was Vivek Ranadive who was pushing for a lot of these moves, right? It wasn't McNair, the GM. It was Vivek that wanted these moves. And you've talked about it quite a bit. It's great if owners know the sport of basketball, But when an owner starts pushing for a move and it doesn't work out, it looks like meddling. I also think, Stricky, we learned that Domantas Sabonis is a regular season player. He's an 82-game guy where he can help you get through a regular season. He'll put up his numbers, but we have yet to see, Zach LaVine and Domantas Sabonis become the centerpiece or the core of a legitimate playoff team. DeMar did it for Toronto. He helped get him to the playoffs with Kyle Lowry, but how did Toronto win? When they traded him away for Kawhi Leonard. Maybe it's not, with our powers combined sometimes. So I am a little bit surprised, but maybe I shouldn't have been surprised by the same token.
Yeah. And there are players like that. I mean, I know there have been times when you was rolling with Zach LaVine. Again, I don't think they're 1As. I think if they're combined with the right grouping, I would probably say even if Lefty was there,
De'Aaron Fox.
Even if De'Aaron Fox was there, I think that you might have been able to escape in the play-in game. I mean, I don't think it ever is going to take you far. I don't think it's ever going to take you deep. I think. So let me ask you this question: Is what differentiates Jimmy Butler from DeMar DeRozan? Because they're very similar in the style of play.
I would say Jimmy's a bigger body, bigger frame, holds up a little bit better defensively. I think that's a part of it. Mindset must be. I'm not going to say DeMar DeRozan's not a killer, right? I mean, he's hit plenty of clutch shots in his career, but sometimes it just seems like Jimmy has that extra gear, whether it's emotionally, mentally, maybe sometimes even physically. I would say that I trust Jimmy Butler a little bit more from three. I don't have the career numbers pulled up in front of me, but Jimmy just does a little bit more at a higher level pretty much across the board physically. He can play the four in a stretch. He's really a three in some huge lineups. You could even hypothetically throw him at the two, depending on what it is. And again, I'm not going to say DeMar DeRozan's not competitive.
Yeah.
But I think Jimmy Butler just has that extra little, competitive oomph to him.
Respect.
I don't know. That's what I got on that one. So big thanks to the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese for their sponsorship of the show. We'll certainly get back to talking some more NBA playoffs as we move forward here throughout the show. Brad, we will get to your comment at the start of the 4 o'clock hour. Let's jump into some audio from Matt Rhule. He was speaking to the media yesterday. He says, I have one job at Nebraska. What is that one job according to Matt Rhule? Let's hear from the head coach.
I have one job. It's to win at Nebraska. Okay. Anytime a coach here has tried to do anything else but win at Nebraska, they've been asked to leave. And I'm not saying that. I'm saying no man can serve two masters. We have to win. Everyone cares about everything else when you're not winning. When you win, and Tommy Frazier was from where? Okay, saying that no one cares. You know what I'm saying? So, and I'd say that I want to mine the state. I think there's good players in the state. Okay, but if a player's a really good player and doesn't quite fit us, and he's going to go somewhere else, I want him to go be happy. I care about football in the state. That's why we're open. Every practice is open to the high school coaches in the state. That's why our camps are not just select invitational camps. That's why we do youth camps. That's why we do free youth camps. That's why we go speak at clinics. That's why our coaches clinic had 500 people here just for us. We are going to pour into the state in football. But what I have found is if you bring a player here from the state and they're not happy, the place that they love now becomes a miserable thing. So I have to be sure that they're good enough. And what's happening sometimes here is some of the other schools that aren't playing in the Big Ten, they're going to offer them as a sophomore. And everyone looks at me like, well, why haven't you offered him yet? It used to be you got offered as a senior, And I like guys, if I'm not quite sure yet, don't I owe it to you to be sure before I offer you a scholarship? And now before I offer you a rev share deal. So I don't think there's anything wrong at the University of Nebraska that we carry ourselves like the top 20 teams in the program in the country. And the top 20 teams in the country, if they say, hey, we like you a lot, but we want you to come to camp, you'll come to camp, going into your senior year. So there's lots of kids. I would love to recruit them. They've committed to a Big 12 school or somewhere else like that. Come to camp. If you want to play in the Big 12 over the Big 10, I got it. But make no mistake, there is a big difference. And Big 12 is going to go nuts now. I know that. And I'm going to be on X and all that stuff, but it's the reality. The Big 10 and the SEC, especially moving forward, are going to be here in terms of everybody else. So I have to worry about what's Ohio State doing, what's Michigan doing. So I love the state. I love the players. And we're gonna take a bunch. So we've taken some as walk-ons. We've taken some as scholarship players. I just have to be sure that they're good enough. And I don't think asking guys to come to camp the whole thing, hey, you should be the first offer at Nebraska. Desperate teams always set the market. Let me say that one more time. And rev share and all this, desperate teams set the market. So if they know that, hey, straight up, we can't beat a Big Ten team or we can't beat Nebraska, then we better offer them a year earlier and say Nebraska doesn't care about you. We care about you. We just we got to make sure that you're going to help us beat Ohio State. That's my job, is to be really focused on, serving that one master, which is college football playoff, Big Ten championships, national championships. That's all anybody wants. So I better do that. If you're not doing that, then people say why. But and I think we're taking the right players from the state, and I think football in the state's really good. So you're going to see lots of guys sign scholarships.
Stricky, your reaction to that quote?
I mean, it's a lot. It's a lot. I think he's got a good understanding as to what's laid out. I mean, it's no different than things that we've talked about, knowing that there's definitely 2 power conferences. We're definitely seeing the ramifications potentially of top tier people betting on themselves and putting themselves out there after they've had pretty good situations that they happen to be in. We're seeing great success of those coming from like Liberty or Tulane or those smaller. They're performing FCS schools. They're performing at the level, and they're getting credited as well as rewarded for the work and the time that they put in. Then we're seeing not a lot. I mean, there is a lot if you think about it relative to the number that go in. You're seeing a lot of those individuals that came in 4 or 5 stars, don't really succeed. They've made at least couple jumps in the transfer portal. And then you look at where they are now, they've went backwards when the other guys have gone forward. So that's what it's starting to look like to me. I think they're looking in with an understanding that we are playing ground, but now what we need to see is, how do you want to play, or are you going to just become have an eye on a specific area, and you're just going to play in that area knowing that they're looking here. And that's not a bad place to be, but it just depends on where you want to be and where you feel comfortable. But he talked about winning. So to me, when you're talking about winning, you got to figure out how you need to play in that game.
Absolutely. Let's bring in the middle linebacker, Jay Foreman. Jay, your reaction to hearing that quote from Matt Rhule?
I mean, look, man, it's tough. I mean, in this day and age of, I went through this a little bit. I always think, like, sometimes when you give an opinion, you got to really be humble, or not. I don't even know humble. Just kind of bring yourself into both arenas. That means as a Nebraska kid, and then I guess as a decision maker. I have a little bit of experience of this, but it's not to this magnitude of when I came out of Minnesota. And, at that time, Minnesota wasn't very good. Nebraska's ahead of where Minnesota is, and Minnesota never was Nebraska. So it's not apples to apples. And, they didn't recruit me at the very beginning. Now it's totally recruiting. Let me say this. Recruiting is it's way different now, obviously, but you have to say it so people don't try to run with something. And, they didn't recruit, they were very choosy on who they wanted to do. Now, granted, Jim Wacker came in and wanted to do it different. And he came, I think, from TCU or something like that. So it's totally different. And I don't think Jim Wacker actually was like a winner, and had done things like at the level of Matt Rhule and stuff like that. And the recruiting was different. And I took the leap of faith of, once I started to take off to, go other places, for the simple fact that Nebraska, or at that time, Minnesota, didn't really recruit me. Now, there was probably some pressure there. They probably didn't really want to. Kevin Sumlin, is the guy that really dropped the ball. I mean,
not the bag, but the ball.
Yeah, he did. He didn't. He's the one that really dropped the ball. But also, I would say, Barry Alvarez did too as well. It's like, it's well documented, and that's fine. Look, you can't make everybody happy when you're recruiting. That's the one thing I will say and the great thing about it is, I will say this, is with Warren Academy in particular, because I know the work they do, they've done, and Steve Warren in this, he's helped take kids out on a national level. And that's why you see kids like you saw Zane Flores at
Oklahoma State.
You see different guys like Daniel Kaelin's one of his guys. Heinrich Harburg was one of his guys. Cole Payton, I think, was up in North Dakota State. All these guys are everywhere. It's all byproduct of him. And then obviously the kids wanting to do the work. Well, the offset to that, or the flip side of that, is other schools come in and offer your kids. And sometimes they do offer early. And
the main culprit of that's been Iowa State. 6 guys from the state within the last couple of years.
But that's how they do stuff. They recruit, develop, and have an eye for the talent that particularly fits them. It's no different than Dan Jackson, who was at South Dakota State, used to recruit Nebraska really hard, even when he was at Northern Illinois. That's just the way it goes. How some people recruit, you can't make people happy when you do it like it your way. And then also with the whole 105, things change.
You walked right into something Strick and I mentioned before you got in yesterday. Stricky, about Pat Monahan, right? What type of program does Nebraska want to be? For basketball, what did you say Nebraska has to do in terms of finding talent, getting it in the door?
Well, obviously, by the way that the move that they made with Monahan, they're obviously looking at someone who can identify talent, and has been sold to Coach Hoiberg about the ability to create more demasts, so to speak, out there. So to find, identify, have relationships, especially so it looks like they're not trying to chase the national spectrum. Maybe find and identify some international, but also regional relationships and connections.
That brings me back to what Matt Rhule said kind of in the middle of that quote. We are going to act like a top 20 program in the country. That's the standard that we're comparing ourselves to. We have to beat Ohio State. We have to beat Michigan.
Right.
On the one hand, I can get behind that. You gotta walk the walk. You gotta talk the talk, right? You don't have to settle for where you're at, and that's not what I'm trying to say. But Nebraska is not a top 20 program nationally right now, right? Nebraska needs to try to operate at that standard. Nebraska doesn't have that level of talent, not the depth of talent, which is where, even as much as I agree with Matt Rhule that Nebraska doesn't need every single in-state prospect, that Nebraska can afford to be a little picky if it's not sold on a guy. Maybe Nebraska does need to be early on some of these guys. If it's not going to, yes, Nebraska's been in the conversation for some of these top prospects nationally, but it hasn't landed many of them. And if that's going to be the case, I'm not saying give up on them. I'm saying at some point, you got to get sick and tired of Iowa State, a little brother program. It's the second or third best football program in that state till Matt Campbell got there. It's a little brother. It's like the David of all Davids against some Goliaths. At some point, maybe Nebraska has to operate like that. Sometimes I think Nebraska overthinks prospects. Sometimes Nebraska underthinks prospects. Nebraska hasn't consistently put the right amount of thought into this is the right kind of prospect for us at Nebraska. A lot of good players go somewhere else without considering Nebraska, and the ones that Nebraska does get don't end up doing anything for Nebraska. They got to get better at mining in-state talent. Not more, just get better at it.
Yeah, I mean, it's twofold. I mean, the guys got to perform that come here, and then it's obviously it's also different staff though as well. I mean, you got to think you can't, who other people recruited, you can't really, I guess, evaluate present day staff on prior guys, right? And because your foundation of what you are or what you think is good is already there. So, I think it's just, it's a tricky business, man. Recruiting is very hard, and well, I would say this: it's hard, but I don't think it's hard. I'm saying
it's simple. It's simple but difficult.
Yeah, and because you know what you want. You see what you want, you get a short glimpse, but you just never know what happens when they get to campus. You just don't. You don't know what these kids are built. You don't know what you don't know how they deal with a ton of time on their hands. adversity, the pats on the back, a little bit of hard coaching. Some kids just cower to that, and you could never see that in high school.
When they're the biggest, toughest, baddest dude on the
or
block.
you just know you're just that much better than everybody, and then it's like, there's other factors into it, and who knows what all the evaluation process is and when they want to do it, how they want to do it. Okay, for instance, let's just take Nebraska out of it. Dabo Swinney is notorious of offering guys late. I mean, notorious of doing it like super late.
But he can get away with it because he's won 2 national championships.
Right. But up until recently, he ain't getting away with nothing. He got lucky with this whole revenue sharing because they were blasting him. He would not get in it. He would not get in the transfer portal. No. He wouldn't pay any money NIL, and he was offering guys late. Matter of fact, the reason because I know is because he was offered late Daryl Carrington Jr. down in Charlotte. I know Daryl Carrington Sr. So I know that, and he went to the camps. He did everything he's supposed to, and then Dad was like, all right, I'll let you know in a couple weeks. So this isn't new. Look, I mean, Iowa State is, why wouldn't they recruit Nebraska? I mean, Nebraska's talent pool is grown both, I think, in football and basketball, and obviously, volleyball and softball. It's been there in baseball, and so, as much I think they have a really good player at Kansas State or something. I think that that was at Nebraska, and guys are everywhere. It just happens as guys get better, as the pool gets bigger, other schools come in. Now, Iowa State, it looks a little different because they just were in the college football playoffs, and they are putting guys in the league. I mean, not the college football playoffs, Big 12 championships. Excuse me. But that's still really, really, big for Iowa State. But let's not forget that not this last season, but before last season, they were throwing shots at Coach Campbell as well. I mean, so it hasn't been. It came to a real top peak, started to dip a little bit. Then obviously he got it back on the right track this year, and so. I mean, what Matt Rhule is saying is right, and what everybody else is thinking is right because, I've been in that situation as a player. I've been in that situation as like with my dad. I've been in that situation that I wanted to prove at that time the University of Minnesota wrong. And then, if I didn't make it, then what would it, if I didn't come to Nebraska and play well and win, like I said, I told you so. So it kind of goes both ways. They have the way they do it. I think they do a lot of they want you to come to camp. They want to see you run. It's a big thing on 40. Like I said, I don't think considering the way I approach the weight room and running the 40, they wouldn't have recruited me out of high school. I have no problem saying that just because that's not how I was raised. I was playing basketball all summer. Because we were raised combos. We were raised to be multiple sport athletes. So we weren't, at least for me, I didn't do anything except for I played football during football season, played basketball during basketball season, played a little bit of baseball, and I ran track, and then I was waiting for track to get hell if I get over so I can get back on the basketball court because I hated track. But so it's a little bit of both, and Iowa State is coming in there and trying to pluck them, and and they're taking some chances on some guys, but they're it's like you get a quarterback, you get his receiver.
Brahmer's already balling.
They got Benny Agoye who's playing now. Who was and that has nothing to do with Matt Rhule. That was coach. That was I think Scott Frost the staff, and so and he's turned in. He's went from an athlete to be able to play both sides of the ball. So. It's never. I mean, there's been guys from Florida go to Bama. Mario Cristobal, my dad was just talking about is they're mad at Miami letting a lot of guys leave out of the state of Florida and out of the city of Miami, Fort Lauderdale as well, going outside of the state lines. That means it's leaving Miami, Florida, and Florida State, peace, going to other places. So it's not just a Nebraska thing, but it's magnified here because of where Nebraska's at, who covers them, but then also the type. Your Millard South is the head and shoulders most talented team in Nebraska, and probably
even more so than Westside.
Well, Bell West had their run. Westside had their run. Now it's Millard.
These dudes are probably Millard South right now. I think is nationally probably as far as I'm sure they're going to have.
Didn't they play in Arizona too?
Yeah.
They went down
So
there.
you had all those guys that, went places this year or this last season. And then this year they have even more talent, which is you're thinking like 10, 11. I mean, the running back just got a big offer from Wyoming. So he's probably going to get more. And he's a legit track dude. So you think like 10, 12 for sure Division I guys.
Whew.
So that's going to bring more eyes into it.
Stricky, before we get out of here, on the in-state recruiting piece, were you a perfect fit for Danny Nee's system? The way you played?
Yeah.
Was that why you stayed home?
The style of it was like, for me, RIP, rest in heaven, to Lanny Richards, who was my high school coach. The way Lanny taught us, the way Lanny engaged with Danny Nee, they had high school coaching camps back then. He took and understood the style: high, fast pace, run, great defense, denial, rotate. Everything he taught us fit with what Danny was doing. So for me, it was an easy
transition.
Yeah,
and see, that's also a big deal too. Is that previous staff? This is before the connections weren't there. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So like, what made Nebraska for guys like Eric Crouch, Amon Green, the plethora of guys coming out of like Bellevue, anywhere in Nebraska.
That whole Omaha pipeline for
but just
backs.
even like out there in Kozad, like with Dishman and all those dudes, they've been running somewhat of a Nebraska type of offense since they've been in like 5th grade. So I can evaluate you. I know you're a good fit. I know you are.
Because I talked to your coach, because I know what you do. And I think
I see it over and over and over though.
Yeah.
More times than versus having to project. Like me, I was they were just like, hey, let's throw Jay up in there. Let's hope something positive comes out of it. Cause we didn't run option. I played every single position I could in high school and got lucky versus like you can take like one of the best linemen ever to play at Nebraska, Zach Weger. He didn't play his senior year, but he was really really good basketball player. They projected what he could do in the offensive line, one by his brother, but number two, that they could get him and put him on the shelf. Well, you can't do that anymore with most cases, right?
Yeah.
Because if you do, and then the kid starts to show a little bit, he gives you the deuces. Well, then now you fostered a kid, and then now he's gone. And so it's a little bit of both. It's hard. I'm sure that people will be upset. Big 12, I think the Big 12 gets, especially this year, I think it was a really good year for the Big 12, kind of like the Pac-12
a couple years ago.
But they're on the. I'm going to get Kenyatta right on.
Got a plug?
Yeah, he's the GM at Oklahoma State. Talking to him and talking to what they meet about, like in their conference calls and all that stuff, is really interesting. How they are targeting getting these players. They're actually seeing who's in Big Ten country and seeing who they can, or SEC country, try to pluck them.
But it's targeted.
Yeah, it was purposeful. Right.
There's a key word.
Yeah.
Let's go to break. Let's hear more from Matt Rhule. He said yesterday, this is the team he's been waiting on. What did he mean by that? We'll dive into that when we get back to On the Block.
Follow Austin Strick and On the Block on Twitter at Austin Orman, eStrick20, and On the Block 93.7. More of On the Block coming up.
League One Volleyball just wrapped up its first season in Omaha. The team returned home as league runners-up thanks to Olympic medalists and former Huskers Jordan Larson and Justine Wong-Arantes. Stay on the lookout for more action from more former Huskers, including Lexi Rodriguez, Lauren Stiffrins, and Maddie Kubik-Banks in year 2. You can renew your season tickets or secure your seats for the first time by visiting lovboma.com. Don't miss your chance to watch even more Olympians, national champions, and former Huskers take the court for Love Volleyball Omaha in 2025. Volleyball is the next major league.
It's never too late to start protecting your company's data from cyber attacks. Your customers put their trust in you to keep their information safe from online threats. Don't let them down. Partner with Hamilton Business Technologies to get real-time threat monitoring, advanced security protocols, and experts who monitor it all for you. We care about the success of your business and the communities you serve. Hamilton Business Technologies. Real people, real technology solutions. Connect with us at hamiltonisbusiness.com.
Hi, everyone. Kendall Warnock, A1 Automotive in downtown Lincoln. Spring is here. Summer is fast approaching. With weddings, vacations, and weekend getaways on your mind, do not let car issues prevent you from getting where you need to be. Car problems shouldn't be something that you put up with. Let us get you back on the road in comfort and safety. We diagnose all makes and models from Porsches to Hondas, Toyotas, and Chevrolets. We fix a variety of issues with all of them with our talented techs and our experienced staff. A1 Automotive at 11th and L, downtown Lincoln, always honest answers.
Spring is here. It's time to get back outside and into proper shoes this year. Brown's Shoe Fit is the place to buy this spring with their sale on athletic shoes. Get $15 off any regular priced athletic shoes with respected brands like Hoka, Brooks, New Balance, and On Running. And don't forget, Brown's carries a large arrangement of sizes and widths to fit your feet properly. Start your spring off right at Brown's Shoe Fit, just south of 66th and Q in Lincoln.
Your new Total Wine in Lincoln has the largest selection of wines, spirits, and beers, plus totally low prices and friendly service from our helpful guides. With over 8,000 wines, 4,500 spirits, and 2,500 beers, you're sure to find your favorites and something new. You can even order delivery, in-store, or curbside pickup. Find what you love what you find, only at Total Wine and More. Now open in Lincoln next to Gateway Mall.
Drink responsibly, B21.
Garage doors can break down or quit working at the worst times. At Doors Plus, they understand that a broken garage door sometimes means repair and not replace. Sometimes, all you need to make your door like new again is a few bolts, a realignment, or even a new balance. Trust the pros at Doors Plus to handle your garage door repair the right way so you can get on with your busy schedule. Visit them online at DoorsPlusLLC.com or give them a call today at 402-590-5800. Doors Plus. Garage doors and more.
Fleet Feet Lincoln is excited for the upcoming spring season and the warmer temps, and they want you to get outside and be active. Fleet Feet's Fit ID process takes a free 3D image of your feet to help runners and walkers alike find comfortable tennis shoes and inserts that ease pain associated with plantar fasciitis, bunions, and more. Get back on your feet this spring with a trip to Fleet Feet, open 7 days a week at 77th and Pioneers.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Koppel Chevrolet GMC, and it's becoming a wild ride in the car market these days, but Koppel wants to let you know and assure you that we are staying the course with our usual pricing model. We've still got huge discounts and low interest rates, so let's get after it. We've got over $12,500 off list price or 0% APR right now on select new vehicles. New and pre-owned, our lots are full, so now's the time to buy. Please stop on in the dealership or check us out at koppelcars.com. You'll be glad you did. Stock number G187747. All deals with roof credit.
Cinco de Mayo is May 5th, but the party starts early this year at Tipsy Tina's Taco Cantina with their street festival on Saturday, May 3rd. Come down to 8th and Q starting at 1 p.m. on May 3rd and see llamas from Sweet and Sassy's Llama Farm until 4 p.m. and enjoy face painting and balloon animals with Miss Shades at 2 p.m. DJ Wyatt will entertain from 6 to 10:30 p.m. There will be drinks, food, and giveaways, and best of all, no cover charge. It's the early Cinco de Mayo Street Festival with Tipsy Tina's Taco Cantina, Saturday, May 3rd, beginning at 1 p.m. at 8th and Q in the Haymarket.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Sponsored by John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning.
Cloudy, breezy, and cool here for our Friday. We're only going to manage 57 for a high temperature, but with north wind gusts up around 30 miles an hour, it's going to make it feel that much cooler here today. Tonight, we're going to stay mostly cloudy down to 38 for a low. For Saturday, sunshine, a high of 62 before we bring in some rain on Easter Sunday. I'm meteorologist Aaron Downer for 93.7 The Ticket and TicketFM.com.
Now back to On the Block with Eric Strickland, Jay Foreman, and Austin Orman.
Rolling right along here during On the Block. Thanks for being a part of the show. If you want to get your thoughts in, your thoughts heard, 402-464-5685. Would love those thoughts on our Starter Heyman Jewelers text line. Another interesting cut from Matt Rhule from yesterday. This is the team he's been waiting for. What did he mean by that? Let's let the head coach explain.
In terms of why do we have to go? No, not everybody. I'm saying like this is the team when you have a fourth-year guy who started in the SEC. You've got Emmett Johnson, who's a starting tailback. And let's be quite honest, like if they were to get injured, they have a lot to lose, right? But they love to compete, and they understand that when you play football, there's an inherent risk. And that's why, I mean, in the NFL, they have preseason games. Think about that. You have a $270 million roster. You have $50 million quarterbacks, and you still put them out there for preseason games because you have to make a decision. Do I want to be healthy or do I want to be good? And most injuries actually happen just like shuffling and the guy's knee buckles, right? So, but when you have players that like to play, like I don't have guys saying like, I blow the whistle up there, hey, coach, can we run that back? Can we do it again? This is the first time like the offense fumbled today in a competitive period, and I wouldn't let the black offense go back out. And they're, Dylan's in my ear. I'm like, well, the only way to punish you guys is to not let you play, as opposed to make them go again. And they're, it's completely different. But it's year 3, right? It's completely different, and it has nothing to do with me. It's the guys. They like to compete. Like that guy back there, Justin. Like, if someone called me and said, hey, there's a problem at the house, I'm calling Justin Evans. I'm telling you. And he's moved to center now. He should be up for everything, every award. I mean, but he's a tough guy, right? Smart, but he's not the outlier. There's a ton of them, and it's been really good. So when I say that, I'm just like, I want to be on the practice field. If you come to a practice and you hear me yelling and screaming, I kind of sit there and talk to Susan, talk to Hey. I mean, we got what we got going, and so they love the practice and they're competing at a high level. So I'm happy about them in terms of that.
Interesting comments there from Nebraska head coach Matt Rhule at his press conference yesterday. That doesn't fly in the face of, and he clarified this earlier, he's not saying he didn't like or didn't love the other teams that he coached. But I think just like the coaching staff, guys, sometimes it takes a while to figure out what kind of prospect you can get, what kind of prospect you like. And when he shouts out, guys like Dane Key, Emmett Johnson as senior leaders on the team, who, want more of that 9-on-7, some live red zone sort of stuff. On the one hand, you understand why, I mean, Jay, especially you in your position, why players wouldn't want that. But what does it tell you when players do seek out those kind of drills, want to make everything as live as possible?
I mean, I think more importantly, what he's saying, he's like, I think they just have a bigger number of guys or a higher percentage of guys that actually, like or love football. That's it. I mean, it just, take all the, what's it really mean? That's what it means. He's probably been waiting to kind of implement it. I would say everybody talks about culture. It's the new catchphrase. You'll see when guys get, a couple years ago, Strick, when guys were getting drafted, they talk about it's a surreal moment. No, it's a happy moment. Your agent told you to say this stupid word, right? Now you got this word culture going around. PJ Fleck said it was a culture win. Okay, here's what culture is. Eric Strickland's the head coach. Austin's the GM. Okay, you're the blueprint, and you guys bring in the blueprint. You put it up there. The players take it and implement it. It takes a little time to implement it. It's easier to do it when you bring guys with you with your blueprint and know that, like Kirk Cignetti, and then you just roll it out because the schedule isn't too far of a jump up based on what you played prior in James Madison.
Nor is it not. Nor is it this unfamiliarity.
It's
because the voice is different,
right?
All these different things, the terminology,
and I'm bringing specific.
Right.
If I'm
if
I'm the coach at, let's see the equivalent of James, I guess Youngstown State. That I know they've played. Okay, say I'm the coach at Youngstown State, and I get the job at Indiana, and I know who I'm. All right, look. They're giving me free reign, and I'm bringing some dudes with me. It's just like with Dion in Colorado. Oh, and I can bring 14 dudes. Okay, number one, I'm the head coach. I'm getting an upgrade in pay. I'm bringing my assistants with me, but I'm bringing 14 guys that I know.
There's value in that.
Know my blueprint.
Yeah, there's value in that.
That
you're
14,
having those discussions. Yeah,
that 14. They talk. This is it's
a core.
This is like a B12 shot going into your body.
Yeah, it's a core.
Because the culture is the locker room. That's what people are talking about. What the locker. So you get to bring in 14 guys that have the credibility, that ain't going nowhere, that know how to win.
Prove.
You're right, and they're appreciative of what you got,
Mm-hmm.
and they are multiplying like that.
Mm-hmm.
So when Jay
and they bind together.
They have
think about it.
Right.
So you're a bunch of new guys.
Right.
You already
strategic.
Right.
Placing them there, and then they're your best recruiters.
Yeah.
Just like the guys that are, I would say, on the basketball. It's not the guys that are starting. It's always that 5, 6, 7, maybe 8 that can make or break your team.
Yep.
Because the 6th and 7th guy generally think that they're better than the 5th or 4th guy.
Facts.
right? And maybe the 8th guy, depending on who he is.
Because I swore up and down I was better than Pike.
Right. But you didn't.
Were you not?
You didn't become a cancer in the locker room.
Right.
So now, flip side, you bring those guys into there, and that's what you want. So what Matt Rhule is talking about, you got more guys that have been through some trials and tribulations. You had some success last year, which you just essentially you made a bowl game, and then you won the bowl game as well. And then you got some guys that can now take it and spread what from last year in the building process. And then also maybe, like how they recruited guys out of the portal, like the linebacker, they got the law firm that they got. I call him the law firm just because he has a hyphenated name.
Marquise Watson Trent.
Yeah, so Watson Trent. So, he can come in and he's a winner. He's productive. So he's a guy that can come in there and he's not gonna shock any, he's not gonna, bring any rocky ways. He's actually gonna probably, up the mindset of a Shavers, accentuate a Javen Wright, and hopefully help be a kind of a subordinate of Coach Rob to get some of those other guys to develop when you think about Merritt and Jones coming from Westside. So that's what you want, and that's what he's saying. I can't speak for him, but that's what I heard from him. Like, all right, I gotta say like when you first get here, right? Everybody's on their best behavior because the new guy's here, right? So everybody's gonna, like, you say go to 2 blocks, they're gonna go 2 blocks. Okay, now you get a little comfortable. Now you got maybe the percentage of guys. Just say it was 55%. Now you're getting close to that 75%. Not that you get relaxed as a coach, you can actually see it because you've seen guys actually implement some of the things that you want.
There it is. I'm going to be very brief because I know time is the essence here, and this is Jay's forum, especially with football. So for me, I take what Jay was saying, and the word I would use is there's a calibration period. That's you get in here, you do something, it's kind of off. Let's tweak that. Similar to what you would do with a piano or a guitar. To fine-tune that thing, you got to calibrate it, right? So for me, that's what's been going on. And what you hear from him, for me, out of the audio is, I like what we've tuned that thing to. I like what I see. Now I'm ready to go. And then you start to look at the things that Jay's talking about. For me, it's not just the culture. It goes beyond the culture. And that's where you need those guys as binding glue. Otherwise, it doesn't fit like a piece. It makes everything kind of fit. It makes everything go. It makes everything coexist. So for me, it seems as if he feels as if we've hit the calibration part of our team.
I like that explanation. Let's hit our Starter Heyman Jewelers text line before we go to break. Westy says, do you guys think Matt Rhule will keep relying on the portal for the wide receiver room in the near future?
I still think you need to go get something, but to me, wide receiver experience where I can look on tape or I can look and see that there's translation. Nebraska's not going to be without success, especially a growth success of next year. They're not going to be a destination place for like a Jeremiah Smith.
Yeah.
Right. So they're going to have to go in, to me, they're going to have to hit the portal. I have to have seen him on tape. I have to seen him against talent. Okay, who was there in there? Was he going against all conference talent? Let me see that. You know what I'm saying? And so now I can kind of gauge whether or not. So I think he's probably going to stay in those areas for that type of player. But eventually, as they grow and get better, I think they'll start to try.
You always got to do a little bit of both because you can't turn your you can't you can't turn your nose up at it. But then also, I think when you look at some of the young talent, it's all going to be predicated what these young guys do. You're talking about Barney. I'm gonna throw Hunter in there just because he was a freshman last year.
Demetrius Bell, Quinn Clark,
Big body. I like his body.
And then Mims.
Cortez Mills.
Cortez Mills. Excuse me. So I just named 5 or 6 guys out. that are either freshmen or sophomores. Or Barney's gonna start sophomore. So what that 6 or 5 or 6 or 7 guys do, that's gonna really dictate it, because you gotta think, okay, Dane Key, that's your known quality, Hunter, right? Then you say Barney, we believe in that. Then everybody else, if they start to elevate, that lessons that you have to, at least to me, lessons that you have to go into the portal and dive that deep. You could be. I would like to get to the point for Nebraska and to get to the point where you go on your a la carte, like Nick Saban. We need Gibbs.
Yeah.
Ohio State. We need this.
Mm-hmm.
We need Downs. That's it. We need a playmaker out there that's essentially a 3-level player, and that's what we need. Or we need a quarterback in Will Howard. All right, we're done.
But again, I think that's been proven regardless of the level of athletics. I mean, the transfer portal in college basketball, but even free agency in the pros. As much as you can draft and develop your own talent and then supplement with outside guys where you're only working in a piece or two, that's been the model for a bunch of the best, not just college football programs, but pro teams and franchises as well. Sure, maybe some have to rely on free agency, but that doesn't last long.
Yeah, I'd say this, man. Back to the first one. I'm thinking about this. Do you remember back in the day, Strick, when Bill Snyder to build his program went all JUCO guys pretty much?
Les Miles tried that same thing.
Right,
didn't work.
Right, but it worked for Bill Snyder, and now look at Kansas State. So, look, man, winning is winning. However you get there is all the most important.
That's what Matt Rhule said was his one job at Nebraska, to win. Nico Yamaleva's one job was get that money, according to him. How much money is he really getting? We'll get into that to wrap up hour one of the show.
Download our app by searching for 93.7 The Ticket in your app store to stay in touch and listen all day wherever you are. More of On the Block next on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Are you looking for an exciting new way to put your skills to work? Explore new career options in the fintech industry at Currency, a Sandhills Global company. We offer full-time positions in financial sales, compliance, operations, and other fields. We also offer a 4.5-day work week, an attractive benefits package, and opportunities for advancement. Put your motivation to work and grow with us at Currency. Visit gocurrency.com/careers to learn more.
League One Volleyball just wrapped up its first season in Omaha. The team returned home as league runners-up thanks to Olympic medalists and former Huskers Jordan Larson and Justine Wong-Arantes. Stay on the lookout for more action from more former Huskers, including Lexi Rodriguez, Lauren Stiffrins, and Maddie Kubik-Banks in year 2. You can renew your season tickets or secure your seats for the first time by visiting lovboma.com. Don't miss your chance to watch even more Olympians, national champions, and former Huskers take the court for Love Volleyball Omaha in 2025. Volleyball is the next major league.
It's the two-fingered wave on a gravel road. It's letting the kids take dad's truck to prom. It's Friday nights under the lights of a hometown football field. Eustace Body Shop knows small towns. It's where our values are rooted. We treat our people right, and in turn, they treat you, our customer, right. And we give back to our communities. Not much more small town than that. Eustace Body Shop, small town service, big city technology.
The most recommended Eustace Body Shop. That's who we are.
Spring is here. It's time to get back outside and into proper shoes this year. Brown's Shoe Fit is the place to buy this spring with their sale on athletic shoes. Get $15 off any regular priced athletic shoes with respected brands like Hoka, Brooks, New Balance, and On Running. And don't forget, Brown's carries a large arrangement of sizes and widths to fit your feet properly. Start your spring off right at Brown's Shoe Fit, just south of 66th and Q in Lincoln.
Spring sports are here and it's time to upgrade your equipment. But don't go rushing to your big box store. Play It Again Sports is your place to go for all spring sports equipment for baseball, softball, golf, and disc golf. Play It Again Sports has quality, slightly to gently used equipment, and 50% of their inventory is actually new equipment. And don't forget, buying from them is a great way to get new products with great discounts by also bringing in your used items for store credit or cash on the spot. Play It Again Sports at 48th and Vine.
93.7 The Ticket is your home for every Kansas City Royals baseball game. Bobby Witt Jr., Salvador Perez, Vinny Pasquantino, and the rest of the Royals attempt to make the postseason for the second season in a row. And you can hear all the action on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Your home for Kansas City Royals baseball.
The Husker games are coming soon. Do you know your tailgate meal for before and after the events? Führer's Cheese Spread is the dip that brings everyone together to celebrate something for all Nebraskans made in Nebraska. And it goes well with crackers, meats, soups, and more. How could you tailgate without it? Get to your local grocery store today and load up on Führer's Cheese Spread. No party or tailgate is complete without it.
Hey there, fellas. It's your girl Jordan with Sartor Heyman Jewelry. Allow me to get a bit sappy. For women, jewelry isn't just a gift. It's a timeless symbol of love and appreciation. You have to get this right. No fleeting trends or gadgets will make the impact. Every time she wears it, every time she gets a compliment, you win. Trust me, guys. You'll get your money worth. Until next time, this is Jordan at Sartor Heyman Jewelry. Happy shopping, guys.
Rosie's Sports Bar and Grill, open for lunch and dinner at 1501 Center Park Road, just south of 14th and Highway 2.
Hi everyone, Kendall Warnock, A1 Automotive in downtown Lincoln. Spring is here, summer is fast approaching. With weddings, vacations, and weekend getaways on your mind, do not let car issues prevent you from getting where you need to be. Car problems shouldn't be something that you put up with. Let us get you back on the road in comfort and safety. We diagnose all makes and models from Porsches to Hondas, Toyotas, and Chevrolets. We fix a variety of issues with all of them with our talented techs and our experienced staff. A1 Automotive at 11th and L, downtown Lincoln, always honest answers.
Now back to On the Block with Eric Strickland, Jay Foreman, and Austin Orman.
One final segment for the hour. Got a full hour of On the Block coming your way right after this, though. Austin Norman, Jay Foreman, Eric Strickland with you. Strick, you found some numbers on young Mr. Yamaleva. Money is not going to hit the same in California as it did in Tennessee, you're saying?
Yeah, it's okay. So the approach for that, well, how I brought this to Austin ultimately, it came about because there's a standard of living basically calculator, right? Where you can talk about the city that you are moving from to the city that you're moving to. And it'll calculate that standard of living to show you that where your current income is,
and yeah, what it's worth,
and to what you would need in order to
maintain
that same standard. And this is the thing that I wonder, Jay, and Austin, real quick, because I know time is of the essence here again. But I wonder, our staff, this is the stuff. See, when we come on the block, man, the stuff don't come out and we're just talking in a vacuum or in a just one hole, pause. But you know what I'm saying? We're literally talking about a large swath of information.
Yeah.
So when I'm telling you that, we've been talking about this forever. People that need to be associated with the program, institutions that need to be connected to the program. Because why are you not having discussions like this with players internally, a part of your recruiting process? Let's be real. Okay, you don't mess with us. You want far. Okay, we can't do that. Let's discuss why you think you need that. Show us the numbers. Let's sit down, have a discussion on that based on others. And then let's talk about the locale. 2.2 here, you need the 4. No one's giving you the 4 because our 2.2 is equative to the 4. So if you want to go to UCLA or you want to go to Tulane, wherever you want to go. Yeah. We can't get there, my boy.
Yeah.
We feel we're in the vein.
Yeah.
And
tough.
so they're missing the mark. So now you're going to go out there, not get that, maybe not even get what they were giving you. Maybe you do, maybe they but you're still behind, my boy.
Yeah, he was very impulsive, and business is business, and you can't ever recruit. He's a millionaire 2 times, 3, 4, 5 times over. So you can sit back there and say, hey, I'm already a millionaire. I can walk away from whatever I call it the exchange rate. The only way that he can make that up at that 1 year at UCLA
is in the NFL draft.
No, yes, of course. But that's going to be predicated on the thing that he says that he left Tennessee to go to UCLA is the scheme and talent around him. Now that's all relative, right? Because Tennessee's talent in the SEC versus the UCLA being able to have talent to compete in the Big Ten, I probably lean towards Tennessee. The only way he can make that, meaning Tennessee,
Mm-hmm.
those guys are.
They already know you too.
And and they're already ahead
Yeah.
of UCLA. Only way that he can make it this up in present time is by which I think needs to be a big recruiting thing for teams like Nebraska, whatever, is things that you don't have to spend money, right? So like and I saw the calculator, essentially if he gets paid 2.2 in California, he's pretty much bringing home half of that, which is $1 million, right? But then you're losing money because of no state income tax in Tennessee, apples to apples. Well, if I have a house that I'm not paying for, say it's $10,000 a month, okay, well then that's an extra $120,000 free of charge. And then say they give you a bill allotment, say they give you 2 cars that are just like loaner, like dealer cars, and those type of perks, right? Well, then you can lessen it up, but then it's still a risk because you're first of all, you're going back home. Obviously there are distractions for him.
There's a fact.
Just based on how this is handled.
Well, and the distractions traveled to Knoxville with him.
Yeah, but it's not as frequent. That's a long way to travel unless his dad was living there and his people were living there. Now they're here. Now they can just drive to your house. Now that not only can they drive to your house, your Uncle Ron John can.
I think that's what hurt like Mikey Williams.
Yeah. But yeah.
He had so much of that so early, but then the proximity to the family and friends, right. And then now you're in trouble.
He was desperately trying to get to Sunrise Academy in Charlotte.
Yeah.
He was going that's when you know he was running. Now all the stupid stuff he did then, he was John Morant just 2.0. He really thought he was, and he ain't even like that. But he was trying to go down the Charlotte. That lets you know how he was skipping over. I'm willing to say he was skipping over 10 to 20 good prep schools to go to an upstart one in Charlotte, North Carolina, to give himself a chance. Now he was at UCF, right?
Yeah,
playing hoop, right?
Yeah,
but
he was on the team. He didn't play against Nebraska,
right? Yeah, I mean, so
yeah, but that shows how
tough,
quick that star can fall.
Yeah, I mean,
now last thing, what is he gonna have? What does Nico have to do for redemption? Does he need to take UCLA to a 10-win season? What does he have to do?
You gotta get him to a bowl game, but it's gonna be more in the locker room. And I'm sure with Coach Foster, he'll be good and stuff like that. But it's leadership and stuff, and he's got to play well. Now, if this scheme, what we saw firsthand, I thought UCLA's quarterback was all right last year.
Yeah, solid.
He put in work. He put in work. I mean, once they got a rhythm, now Eric Bieniemy's he's got to play well, and then he's got to lead. So whatever the things that come out, and it's not all true what they say about now. They're trying to bash it. Tennessee's got a little bit of scorned girlfriend too.
Really, Tennessee? No way.
They are. I mean, half the stuff is probably not even close to true. They dropped the ball too. Josh Heupel really think that's where the former quarterback comes. It's like if you a linebacker and I'm the head coach and you trying to be LT or whatever, and I played linebacker. Well, then I let my ego come into business decision as well, and then you decide to go to Alabama or in your case Auburn, and you leave Nebraska. I'm gonna be a little salty too, because I played the position. Oh, Strick ain't that good.
I played the position. On top of that, I believed in you.
Right. And now you gone.
And now,
yeah.
Oh, what?
And you getting paid.
That part. And we paid you more than anybody else is willing to. Right. You digressed, my boy.
Yeah.
What if the new quarterback comes in and just lights it up? Oh, it's gonna look bad. He's one of those ones hoping with the haterade. Nico's hoping with the haterade right now that whoever comes in literally falls off the map.
He better just be in the lab. That's what he needs to do.
Yeah, that's a fact.
Forget the money. Get in the lab.
Get in the lab. Get better.
Yeah.
We're going to get in a break. We'll be right back. Talk some NBA playoffs X factors. Brad on our text line said Orlando over Boston. Who could be the key player helping the Magic spring the upset? We'll get into that and plenty more.
Franz Wagner.
We'll be back on the block.
Follow Austin, Strick, and On the Block on Twitter at Austin Orman, eStrick20, and On the Block 93.7. More of On the Block coming up. This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet, KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
Cinco de Mayo is May 5th, but the party starts early this year at Tipsy Tina's Taco Cantina with their street festival on Saturday, May 3rd. Come down to 8th and Q starting at 1 p.m. on May 3rd and see llamas from Sweet and Sassy's Llama Farm until 4 p.m. and enjoy face painting and balloon animals with Miss Shades at 2 p.m. DJ Wyatt will entertain from 6 to 10:30 p.m. There will be drinks, food, and giveaways, and best of all, no cover charge. It's the early Cinco de Mayo Street Festival with Tipsy Tina's Taco Cantina, Saturday, May 3rd, beginning at 1 p.m. at 8th and Q in the Haymarket.
Are you looking for an exciting new way to put your skills to work? Explore new career options in the fintech industry at Currency, a Sandhills global company. We offer full-time positions in financial sales, compliance, operations, and other fields. We also offer a 4.5-day work week, an attractive benefits package, and opportunities for advancement. Put your motivation to work and grow with us at Currency. Visit gocurrency.com/careers to learn more.
Garage doors can break down or quit working at the worst times. At Doors Plus, they understand that a broken garage door sometimes means repair and not replace. Sometimes, all you need to make your door like new again is a few bolts, a realignment, or even a new balance. Trust the pros at Doors Plus to handle your garage door repair the right way so you can get on with your busy schedule. Visit them online at DoorsPlusLLC.com or give them a call today at 402-590-5800. Doors Plus, garage doors and more.
It's the best time of the year to order a new John Deere air seeder during Landmark Implement's Fast Start Early Order Program. Take your seeding performance to the next level with John Deere's advanced air seeding technology. Achieve precise seed and fertilizer placement, optimize emergence, and cover more acres with less downtime. Now is the time to lock in the best price of the year during Landmark Implement's Fast Start Early Order Program. Contact your Landmark Implement for full details and experience the Landmark difference.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Koppel Chevrolet GMC, and it's becoming a wild ride in the car market these days, but Koppel wants to let you know and assure you that we are staying the course with our usual pricing model. We've still got huge discounts and low interest rates, so let's get after it. We've got over $12,500 off list price or 0% APR right now on select new vehicles. New and pre-owned, our lots are full, so now's the time to buy. Please stop on in the dealership or check us out at koppelcars.com. You'll be glad you did. Stock number G187747. All deals with roof credit.
Alexa, play 93.7 The Ticket.
Okay, playing 93.7 The Ticket.
Alexa, turn down the lights.
Dimming the lights.
Alexa, order a pizza, the big one, all the toppings.
Are you sure that's a good idea?
Alexa.
That's a lot of pizza for just one man.
Alexa, just do it. Stop judging me, just do it.
As you wish.
Thanks, Alexa. You're my best friend.
The Husker games are coming soon. Do you know your tailgate meal for before and after the events? Führer's Cheese Spread is the dip that brings everyone together to celebrate something for all Nebraskans made in Nebraska. And it goes well with crackers, meats, soups, and more. How could you tailgate without it? Get to your local grocery store today and load up on Führer's Cheese Spread. No party or tailgate is complete without it.
Spring is right around the corner, and now's the time to get your John Deere mower prepared for the grass to turn green. To get you ready, Acres reduced the price of its John Deere mower blades, filters, belts, and home maintenance kits by 15%. Gator UTV maintenance parts are also 15% off. Regular maintenance will keep your John Deere equipment going for years. Warmer weather is coming soon, so don't delay. Offer expires May 31st, 2025. Visit your local Acres for details or go to acres.com to start shopping today.
Load up on meat and more this spring at The Mercado by Certified Piedmontese with great selections of T-bones, tomahawks, ribeyes, filet mignon, brisket, sirloin, and so much more. The Mercado has locations at 84th and Havelock, 30th and Yankee Hill, and now 85th and Old Cheney in Lincoln, where you can have $2 draft beer every Thursday night from 4 to 8 p.m. and half-price espresso drinks on Fridays from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. Get to The Mercado today for the best meat in town.
Rosie's Sports Bar and Grill, open for lunch and dinner at 1501 Center Park Road, just south of 14th and Highway 2.
Early break wrap
What do you have?
Oh yeah, good point.
Someone orders a wrap. I want to go come across the table.
No wrap.
What do you guys have? What's your best wrap?
No.
What's your
so
wrap?
aggressive.
Was that buffalo chicken? That's incredible. Yeah. When you say I want to get, I'm going to South Florida. They have great wraps. I want to throw a punch.
Here's one too that I encountered
With Steve Sipple, Jake Sorensen, and Bill Bush from 6 to 9 every weekday morning on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. This is On the Block with Nebraska Basketball Hall of Famer and 9-year NBA vet Eric Strickland, Nebraska Football Hall of Famer Jay Foreman, middle school basketball coaching legend and Duke basketball shooting coach in his mind, Austin Orman. Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America, on air and online at theticketfm.com. Sponsored by the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese. This is On the Block with Eric Strickland, Jay Foreman, and Austin Orman.
Welcome into hour 2 of the show, brought to you by the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese. Jay, what do you like about the Mercado? What you like?
Everything.
Some of the things?
I like everything.
Couple things?
I like everything up in there, man.
Yeah, Mercado's banging, bro.
Next week it looked like it's gonna be turned up. It's time for me to get.
I might stop
I gotta
in there
get
and get me
busy
something.
on the Tomahawk again.
How far is the Omaha
How long
location
does it
from
take
you,
to
Stricky?
cut? I don't.
I know you hit on your way out. 160th and Maple.
Oh, it's not far.
Yeah, that's not far.
It's down the street from you,
Right down the
Stricky.
street, my
Yeah,
boy.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm
We
glad
still-
you get-
we-
See,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
normally
yeah,
would
yeah.
stop at this one. Now
Yeah,
I'm
you stop at that.
thinking
You got your
this
neighborhood spot.
here.
Yeah.
Yo, I need the J hookup though. The J Foreman hookup.
We're waiting on Jake to get the percentage. get the coupon.
No love, Jake. No love, Jake. Jake shows love. I appreciate you.
I did see. I saw a new recipe though.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and the thing is, that
Instagram or TikTok?
I don't know the difference anymore. I'm on both. I go back and forth. I know you should know what the difference, but based on like how it looks. But so it's like it's like pork chops, but they're uncut. So it's like a big thing of pork. So then you take it, you cut it in half, and then you take a sharp knife and cut out the middle, and then you kind of slice the middle to where it gets flat. Then you put everything. Then you season it, and you put whatever you want in there. If you want to put like extra, I love some bacon, and you could put some,
Season up your ham with some ham.
Yeah, and then you roll it back up, put it in there, put the essentially toothpick in there. It's on and popping. I ain't gonna do that right now, but I'm gonna get me a tomahawk though. Fred Flintstone. Remember Fred Flintstone? He's had them.
Brontosaurus burger.
Brontosaurus on there. Yeah.
Before we get into the NBA, you guys are both gourmet chefs. The text line was giving Nick some grief yesterday because Nick was talking about grilling, but he was grilling on his Blackstone. If you use your Blackstone, are you grilling? That's the question.
Well, Blackstone makes the grill. I think Nick has a flat grill. But I'm gonna tell you though that the Blackstone cooking chicken steak is it's a sneaky. It's good work. I've put some stuff on there and got great reviews. Great outcome. Phenomenal outcome.
Noted.
Yeah.
Let's dive in.
It's easier too.
For me?
For rookies. Yeah.
Yeah,
that's a good starting spot.
That'd be me. Let's dive into some NBA playoff headlines here. Brad on our text line said Orlando has taken down Boston in the first round. Brad is our resident Orlando Magic superfan. Stricky, we'll give you a look at this series first. We know Boston's, number 2 for you on your list. Who's the X factor for Boston? Who's the X factor for Orlando in winning this series?
Oh, wow. When you look at, let's just look at Boston. I think to me, the regulars are going to do what they're going to do, right? To me, the blueprint seems to be the same. There's not really a difference on the blueprint for me with regards to the teams. So I think you're going to look at a combination of guys when you look at Boston, meaning you got to definitely look at White because, Tatum and those guys are going to do what they do. But I think you got to look at White, Derek White, and someone to step up. Obviously, Drew's going to do what Drew does. But if Drew is a consistent 3, without a rollover, and then you get cherry on the top white.
Hey.
Now you've got a recipe for another win there. Now on the other side, if you go to Orlando, that's a tough one for me, my boy. Because they haven't really. Do you feel like they've really been together and in full strength? They're very guard dominated. You know what I'm saying? Who can you count on? That's where I'm not sure. So if you're not sure fully on who you can count on with this team, I'm going to look at Wagner. Got to have a major impact.
Fair enough. Jay?
For Boston, I think it's going to be Pritchard or Porzingis, the PNP. And Porzingis is based on health and being able to actually, you want him to play really well and keep the rehab process essentially for him. But Pritchard, because I think he's shown that he's developed and shown the ability to make shots. He brings a little bit of defensive tenacity, which will then, ideally offset the Anthony Black and Cole Anthony, as far as the depth of Orlando, which that's, one of their strong points. And so the Pritchard is able to, provide stability. Now, it doesn't have to be to the tune of, 15 points, but if he can hit some big shots and, that energy, like they look a little slow or a little sluggish, he can bring, the punch that gets the guys going. And then as far as Orlando, I will say Wendell Carter, because that could potentially offset Porzingis and anything, or, Al Horford or anything like that. I think Orlando with Banchero and Wagner would be a little bit harder to really get off, because I feel like Brown and Tatum can lock you up and they can switch. So I think it's Wendell Carter. If I had to do, another one, I would say Caldwell Pope, because of his experience hitting big threes, but then also he can look eye to eye to Derek White. And if he can eliminate Derek White, then he can essentially turn it over to the two young Bulls and say, lead us home.
For me, it's Anthony Black is really the swing guy for the series. That's a big guard. I mean, 6'7", 200+ pounds. Boston's biggest trait is switchability, right? That's what makes them so good defensively, is that pretty much everyone on their roster can guard 1 through 4 relatively credibly, occasionally 1 through 5 for sure. But Anthony Black is the big guard, only 21, second year in the league. If he comes in and has the series of his life, Orlando has a chance, because Paulo's going to get his shots, Franz here and there. Suggs, I think, is interesting how well he's able to probably defend Drew Holiday or White or Pritchard, even potentially Jaylen Brown, depending on how much Jaylen plays. I think we see Jalen Suggs on him as well. But I think the swing guy for Orlando is Anthony Black, in my opinion. Next series in the East, let's just move right up one line. Knicks versus Pistons, the black and blue 80s and 90s series going on. Jay, we'll start with you. Swing guy, X factor in Knicks Pistons.
I'm going to say Cat.
Big Cat?
Yeah,
okay.
I think he's shown, being back home, he's playing different. And now we're going to see if this being back in New York, New Jersey actually leads to the same regular season Cat. He was tougher this year. Now is it that he's trying to prove himself, but now you got to prove yourself in the playoffs, because playing in Strick could tell you playing in New York.
Is that different, Stricky?
Really, that's all that matters, right?
It is different.
Right. And then for the Pistons, I'll say just Stewart, just as long as he can not be stupid. I know he just came out with a rap album. He's actually
really
pretty good. Yeah, he just came out with a single. It's pretty good, actually.
Is he better than Dame Dollar?
No, but it's pretty good. It's he does a little reggae dance hall. It's pretty good. Now I can see kind of where his mindset. He's Rasta, so
okay.
Bumper Cloud. I'm the roughest.
Yeah.
He thinks he's the roughest, toughest.
Yeah,
that's him. Yeah. So but as long as he can not be an idiot, I think it'd be great, because I think Cunningham and everybody else is going to get theirs, and I think they actually match up well. And I think if you compared Orlando and Boston series versus Detroit and New York, I think Detroit can give New York more problems, because I don't think New York is played as well as people assumed. after the trade.
Found this from Kirk Goldsberry. That's a guy I brought up a number of times on the show. In a graph he made putting together just all the playoff teams since the trade deadline, the Knicks are in the coming in cold category. Their offense has really lagged. It's the fourth worst offense in the field since the trade deadline, and a bottom 8 defense as well, just among playoff teams, to be fair. New York's good. They haven't really struggled against, quote unquote, non-elite teams. But if they're not playing their best basketball, got to be on upset alert, Tricky.
Well, to me, if you're looking at the Knicks, you paid somebody handsomely. You've paid the price with some of your capital, back-end capital with draft. Just you paid a heavy, stiff price for Mikal Bridges.
Yeah.
He hasn't given you what you would expect for someone who has come over. Now, there shouldn't be a lack. This isn't like he came from Utah to New York. He was right there in Brooklyn. So
different borough.
That's the only difference. You know what New York's about.
But
you're just not playing up. That's the thing. It is a difference. It is a difference. You're right. And so for me, because being a Brooklyn fan, you can still go. It's very much like being a Giants and a Jets fan. The people look at the Giants a little bit different than they look. Same thing with the New York Yankees and the Mets.
Right.
That's the way it is on the basketball side. When you go out and you're a Knick, it's different.
Yeah.
When you show up at the restaurant, it's like, hey, unless you're in Brooklyn, but you show up in the restaurant in Manhattan, they're going to say, oh, yeah, Knick, yeah, we got you. Knicks. You show up in Brooklyn, they might say, oh okay, yeah.
15-minute resume.
Yeah,
wait.
Right? Yeah, I mean, as crazy as it is, that's how it is. Even when New Jersey was winning championships. Now, so I say Mikal Bridges, I think he needs to live up to the billing. On the other side, there's someone that came up one short of his boy, Ant Edwards, and that's Malik Beasley. For Detroit, I think Malik Beasley, if he can continue to knock down big shots from 3, they could be into something.
The curse of the Kardashians is out of Beasley's system. Or
Detroit will get it out of you.
Or Pippen or whatever, right? And that's the one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah. He was with La Vida.
His jumper came back.
Right.
Funny how that works.
Yeah,
funny how that
works.
Because the other one is crashing out. The one that's related to the one that he don't like.
Who?
MJ.
I like MJ.
You hating on him, but you like him.
He said, I ain't hating on MJ.
I'm glad you went with Mikal Bridges. That's where I was going to go with New York. And really for Detroit, I really think it's as far as Cade Cunningham he'll take him. Right, his first playoff series, New York's got a lot of long switchable dudes to throw at him. Call me crazy. I think
Devin Booker.
I think Josh Hart is the antidote to Isaiah Stewart. Both those guys on site.
I like it though. I like this game.
We have another ballot in the ballot? Is it gonna? Hey, listen. Detroit they be ready. Do we have? Do we have what they used to have? Bronx bombing in Detroit. I mean, I don't know. We're gonna have to come up with a name because it might jump off.
Knicks fans roll pretty deep on the road, don't they?
But they cut him off.
We'll see how that works out for them.
They cut him off. They said Knicks fans can't get in.
Really?
They said they can't. If your area or something,
area code,
there are probably a lot of VPN users.
Yeah, Detroit's wild, man. They really believe that 8 Miles. They gangster up in Detroit.
No, for real.
Yeah, for real.
If you're rolling with the 313 and just follow me. If you're rolling with the 303, what?
Did you like Detroit when you played?
Negative, Ghost Rider.
Or when you went there on like
we never was in Detroit. Like if we was in Auburn Hills, we were way out there. What's the richest community out there?
That's why they had you out there
in Detroit. It's where that college is. That used to be really good. It's not Portland. There's a college They've gotten into the NCAA.
Oakland?
There it is. That's
Yeah.
where we used to stay.
Out there.
We would stay in
They
Oakland.
keep you away from it.
They kept us away from it.
They ain't want you
And
at
we
the
would play in
All-Star
Auburn
Cafe.
Hills. And it was a nice little drive to Auburn Hills. It wasn't right around the corner.
They ain't want them at the All-Star Cafe.
I don't know about that. 'Cause I ain't never been out. It was an import city for me.
You're doing too much. See there,
I'm just saying, man.
Well,
it was an
last
import
series-
city for Stricky.
Last series in the East is probably my favorite series of this entire first round. It's the 4-5 Indiana versus Milwaukee. To me, the X factor is Dame. How healthy is he? How quickly can he work back into shape? Had that deep vein thrombosis. Doctor said like they've never seen someone recover from a deep vein thrombosis that
I don't even know
quickly.
what that is.
It's a blood clot.
First of all, I don't believe in the Pacers.
Really?
I saw them.
They are
against- I saw-
34 and
I-
14 since starting 14 and 8.
I saw Halliburton play against the Hornets, and they were pathetic. And I don't believe in that type of come down, shoot stupid shots, and just hope the other team ain't hitting. They done.
Well, they play like Alabama in college basketball.
Yeah, that ain't gonna work. Giannis.
It can work against this formula, though. It worked last year.
Giannis is going for 30 plus, 32, 34 plus every single game. They can't stop him.
Couldn't stop him last year, and they still won the series in
Siakam
6.
don't want none of that. Yeah, we got revenge on our mind. Dame or not. We got Caveman Lopez going to hit a couple timely threes.
But no Chris Middleton.
They dogged him, though. Didn't they? Damn.
Kyle Kuzma could very, very easily lose the series for the Bucks.
But they did Middleton wrong, though.
They
You
traded
think
him
they
to
did?
Washington. Yes,
Yeah,
they
that's
did him
wrong.
They did him wrong, yes.
Yeah, that's cold.
I'm agreeing with you.
Yeah. You won a championship with him? It's like, oh, man. Hey, see? This is the thing. Remember them two young dudes that was in here making fun of my ankles? That's what they did, too, to him. Chris Middleton had 2 bad ankles, man. They was like, get out of here. You ain't even got 1 good ankle and get 2 bad ankles. We're going to ship you to Washington.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, it was Chancellor and what's it, Mikey Daniel in here making fun of my ankle, talking about who's that old dude who got bad ankles, Strick? It was me.
Well, that is true, but I was
And
trying
Austin
to be
was,
good.
And Austin was laughing at it. And Austin and Nick was laughing at it.
They was laughing at your ankles.
We would have walked in the room with you, but we had to laugh while the door was shut.
Yeah, they look at that dude almost got hit. Look, you see a guy, he got mad at the car for almost running him over.
We haven't had one of those in a while.
Yeah.
Well, was it like winter or late fall? We saw that dude just bow up to that car.
The dude bowed up to 18.
Somebody ran into a car, right?
Yeah, but he bowed up to
18-wheeler.
him. Yeah, he said, "Don't you
come at me,
man versus machine? I'm winning every time."
Every time. It'd be like, what's that show? Final Destination.
Yeah, you need to put me on your life insurance though.
Your boy's got denied.
I'm your brother.
I'm your brother's keeper.
Yeah.
Your boy can't get life insurance. It's unfortunate.
It's overrated.
Well, it'd still be nice to have just in case.
Yeah.
Let's talk some Western Conference X Factors when we get back on the block.
Download our app by searching for 93.7 The Ticket in your app store to stay in touch and listen all day wherever you are. More of On the Block next on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Load up on meat and more this spring at The Mercado by Certified Piedmontese with great selections of T-bones, tomahawks, ribeyes, filet mignon, brisket, sirloin, and so much more. The Mercado has locations at 84th and Havelock, 30th and Yankee Hill, and now 85th and Old Cheney in Lincoln, where you can have $2 draft beer every Thursday night from 4 to 8 p.m. and half-price espresso drinks on Fridays from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. Get to The Mercado today for the best meat in town.
At Allo, we go beyond internet, bringing you faster speeds backed by an all-fiber network. We go beyond TV and phone service, delivering reliable, crystal clear connections. We go beyond customer service with local teammates and no robots for a hassle-free experience. We go beyond value, offering transparent prices with no contracts, hidden fees, or data caps. We even go beyond our office doors by working, hiring, volunteering, and living in the communities we serve. Go beyond fiber. Sign up today at allofiber.com.
Your new Total Wine in Lincoln has the largest selection of wines, spirits, and beers, plus totally low prices and friendly service from our helpful guides. With over 8,000 wines, 4,500 spirits, and 2,500 beers, you're sure to find your favorites and something new. You can even order delivery, in-store, or curbside pickup. Find what you love what you find, only at Total Wine and More. Now open in Lincoln next to Gateway Mall.
Drink responsibly, B21.
Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits is your place in North Lincoln to go for all your needs in wine, spirits, and beer. They also have a large variety of cigars in their walk-in humidor, and they have a top-notch walk-in temperature-controlled high-end wine room. Plus, you can enjoy free samples from their tasting bar. There's only one place to go for all your needs for spirits and cigars. That's Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits on North 27th Street in Lincoln.
At Fairway Meat Market, you're family, and as part of the family, they want to save you money on your meat and groceries. Fairway has fresh cut meats, seafood, cheese, wine, and spirits, and a friendly staff that's always ready to help you find what you need. Stop by Fairway Meat Market today to plan your weekly meals in the Rockledge Square Shopping Center, just south of 84th and Van Dorn.
League One Volleyball just wrapped up its first season in Omaha. The team returned home as league runners-up thanks to Olympic medalists and former Huskers Jordan Larson and Justine Wong-Arantes. Stay on the lookout for more action from more former Huskers, including Lexi Rodriguez, Lauren Stiffrins, and Maddie Kubik-Banks in year 2. You can renew your season tickets or secure your seats for the first time by visiting lovboma.com. Don't miss your chance to watch even more Olympians, national champions, and former Huskers take the court for Love Volleyball Omaha in 2025. Volleyball is the next major league.
Hey there, fellas. It's your girl Jordan with Sartor Heyman Jewelry. Allow me to get a bit sappy. For women, jewelry isn't just a gift. It's a timeless symbol of love and appreciation. You have to get this right. No fleeting trends or gadgets will make the impact. Every time she wears it, every time she gets a compliment, you win. Trust me, guys. You'll get your money worth. Until next time, this is Jordan at Sartor Heyman Jewelry. Happy shopping, guys.
The Husker Games are coming soon. Do you know your tailgate meal for before and after the events? Führer's Cheese Spread is the dip that brings everyone together to celebrate something for all Nebraskans made in Nebraska. And it goes well with crackers, meats, soups, and more. How could you tailgate without it? Get to your local grocery store today and load up on Führer's Cheese Spread. No party or tailgate is complete without it.
It's the best time of the year to order a new John Deere air seeder during Landmark Implement's Fast Start Early Order program. Take your seeding performance to the next level with John Deere's advanced air seeding technology. Achieve precise seed and fertilizer placement, optimize emergence, and cover more acres with less downtime. Now is the time to lock in the best price of the year during Landmark Implement's Fast Start Early Order program. Contact your Landmark Implement for full details and experience the Landmark difference.
Garage doors can break down or quit working at the worst times. At Doors Plus, they understand that a broken garage door sometimes means repair and not replace. Sometimes, all you need to make your door like new again is a few bolts, a realignment, or even a new balance. Trust the pros at Doors Plus to handle your garage door repair the right way so you can get on with your busy schedule. Visit them online at DoorsPlusLLC.com or give them a call today at 402-590-5800. Doors Plus, garage doors and more.
Spring is right around the corner, and now's the time to get your John Deere mower prepared for the grass to turn green. To get you ready, Acres reduced the price of its John Deere mower blades, filters, belts, and home maintenance kits by 15%. Gator UTV maintenance parts are also 15% off. Regular maintenance will keep your John Deere equipment going for years. Warmer weather is coming soon, so don't delay. Offer expires May 31st, 2025. Visit your local Acres for details or go to acres.com to start shopping today.
Tailored Landscapes is actively preparing for spring. Things like new tree orders, getting equipment ready, and training staff to serve you the best they can. If you haven't already planned, now is the perfect time to figure out a maintenance plan for your yard. Tailored Landscapes is on the brink of spring cleanups for all their existing customers, and they have limited spots available. They trim trees and shrubs when needed and only mulch proper amounts. Give Tailored Landscapes a call at 402-432-2572 to set up a meeting with one of their designers and stop by the Tailored Life store in Bennett.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Koppel Chevrolet GMC, and it's becoming a wild ride in the car market these days, but Koppel wants to let you know and assure you that we are staying the course with our usual pricing model. We've still got huge discounts and low interest rates, so let's get after it. We've got over $12,500 off list price or 0% APR right now on select new vehicles. New and pre-owned, our lots are full, so now's the time to buy. Please stop on in the dealership or check us out at koppelcars.com. You'll be glad you did. Stock number G187747. All deals with roof credit.
Now back to On the Block with Eric Strickland, Jay Foreman, and Austin Orman.
Welcome back in on the block. About half an hour to go on this show before we turn things over to Old School. This segment of the show brought to you by Heartland of Nebraska Windows. They're based out of Hallam, Nebraska. They offer a free estimate, full window replacements, all vinyl triple pane windows, and a lifetime warranty on everything while still keeping their prices affordable. Heartland of Nebraska Windows is locally and family owned with their own team of installers. Give them a call today for more info at 402-430-3852, or you can visit them online at heartlandofnebraskawindows.com. I'm Austin Norman, sitting to my left here at 1040 O Street, Jay Foreman and Eric Strickland. You can watch us on stream sponsored by Sartor Heyman Jewelers, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter, all up and rolling for you. We're going to start with Jay's favorite series again here for this one. Lakers Wolves. X Factors, Jay. Who you got?
AR-15. Reeves.
Okay.
He gets busy, it's over. The Timberwolves, it's got to be the French Connection, because that's the weakness of the Lakers, inside presence. So Rudy Gobert has to be excellent.
In what way?
Well, defensively, he has to be dominant, right? So because that's going to offset the three amigos and Bron, Luka, and Reeves.
He needs to camp out in the paint and absolutely physically
off
just
the ball, and he's got to be able to play the whole game. And then defensively, he has to be a problem. I mean, offensively, he has to be capable. That's what I mean. So that means he needs to get to the foul line, and he's got to be able to score around the basket. Now, I guess point two of that is Naz Reid. He's got the big contract. They kind of like, all right, we kind of hedge their bets, whether him or Cat. Now you got to step up, dude. Those are the guys for me.
Stricky.
On the Lakers side, he went with Austin. I don't have a problem with that. I'm going to actually just turn it a little bit. I'm going to say Luka Doncic, and I'm not going to say not necessarily for his offense. I'm going to say for defense. If Luka plays any D, they may be all right. Because Ant's a problem. Ant is capable of handling Luka defensively.
As much as you can.
So he's a good two-way combo. So if you put pressure on him on the defensive side, what's it going to do to his off? So you want to have that combo. I'm going to say on the defense, I'm going to say on the other side, I'm going to say, where's Randall? I'm going to say, where's Randall? He's very capable of disappearing on you. And, I know we talk about where's Waldo. I'm saying, where's Randall? Where does he show up? Does he show up? And if he doesn't show up, ding, 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 Naz Reid better fill the void.
Yeah.
That's because if you get both of them rolling, both of them, because they're forwards. So that means if Randall shows up, that means there's physical pressure on LeBron. If he doesn't show up, then LeBron can chill.
LeBron getting that assignment, or is Rui?
Well, here's the thing. If they end up playing them both at the same time, which they can, because Nas can shoot. You would be smarter to put. I think you'd be smarter to put Rui on Nas because Nas, Randall will settle. Nas won't. Nas will be attacking. Offensive, defensive, physical, running, shooting, shot fakes, off the like Julius has that, but Julius will settle. You know what I'm saying? So I would say you would much rather have, I think, LeBron on Julius initially, just to see how things are going. And then, if I'm Minnesota, I'm hoping that we have a combo of them going nuts because, you want to switch over here? Okay, we're coming at you now. Oh, okay. Oh, you switching back? Okay, we're coming at you now. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm attacking LeBron because I'm trying to get at them legs.
Yeah.
It's the same thing with, you remember how dominant, this ain't on a negative thing about LeBron. I really am not coming at him from that. I'm really saying,
we'll be the judge.
That's an advantage you want to try to take away a guy that's 40 years old. You want him to have to work, right? And they don't have a lot of depth.
Right.
So here's my thing, Jay. It's kind of like, you remember how good George Foreman was and how powerful he was, even he could go long. But when he got older, one of the things you wanted to make sure you did,
to that 12th round.
you want to get him deep water. That's what you want. That's what I'm saying about LeBron. As good as he still is physically, because people said, even at his age, when he touched you, you felt it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's kind of where I come from that.
Jaden McDaniels. Who does he guard?
Yeah, that was I was thinking of him because
Great point.
He actually
is he certified?
We're gonna see because you got to think last year when they were making that run, it was like every game and a half or game or 2 games that he play a good game, be a factor, and then he would just look like he's never played before. And so if he can be consistent, along with the other 2 that we mentioned, Timberwolves will win.
Rockets and Warriors. Stricky. Rockets have been your team. Who's the X factor for the young Rockets in this series? 2-7.
It's a combo for me. It's definitely got to be discipline out of Jalen Green. You can't just go in there tossing up, throwing up shots. You can't be young Westbrook and OKC. You know,
Sure.
you still want to know and understand that Sengun is
the engine,
is the guy.
He cold-blooded.
And then the B side is what the 2 defensive juggernauts are able to do for Houston, and that's
Eason and Thompson.
Eason and Thompson.
Sagoon my octaroom. Man, I think for the Rockets, it's your boy Ndunky Cake. The head coach. He may go Ndunky Cake.
You're doing the most, my boy. You're doing the most.
Hey, I'm gonna kill him every time I see him, man. Every time I get the bit Ndunky Cake, it's him because what he's gonna have to do is get the young guy, them young bulls, to kind of. I mean, that's what it's going to come down. What Strick's talking about, it's really predicated on him because Van Fleet, the bootleg Draymond Green going to do his thing. They're going to do it, right? They're that's what they're there for. But when you think about Green, you think about Thompson, you think about all the young guys that he's got to okay, this is not the regular season anymore. This is a possession game, and we got to be focused. You got to eat right. You got to sleep right. You got to put in more time actually probably off the court. That means studying versus
because there's adjustments every game.
Adjustments and it's quarter to quarter, halftime. Maybe in what young guys I saw in the NFL, halftime for them was like a break. It's not in these type of situations. So all jokes aside, I think he's going to be the X factor.
Oh, wow.
To get those guys to
I feel you.
Because you got to think when they play the Warriors, it's not gonna be a 4-0 sweep. So now you might be able to do it through game 1, game 2, maybe the first game on the road at Golden State. When you get to game 5, 6, and 7, it even amps up another level. So I think him managing those guys, young brains, I guess, basketball, savvy and stuff like that is gonna be huge.
Houston feels a year or 2 ahead of schedule for me. I knew they're going to be better this year. The fact that they got the 2, that's a huge leap for them. So I think for me, my X factor is going to be Şengün. Prove how legit you are, right? Is this his, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander last year, where Shai wasn't bad in the playoffs, but he wasn't the same level. Şengün's going to have a tough time against Draymond and probably Kevon Looney for the most part. If he is that dude, if he's legit, Houston can win this one. I mean, they're long, they're athletic, they're switchable. And I think to Strick's point with Thompson and Issa and even Van Vliet to some degree, the Warriors still just commit some really stupid turnovers that Houston can turn into some easy highlight dunks in transition. But then if you're the Warriors, who's the X factor on that side?
I mean, it's always easy to say Steph Curry, but he's going to be chefing up and doing what he do, cooking in the kitchen. So I'm not going to really say him. This is 1A, 1B for me too here. Need to figure out what Kuminga is going to be able to give you.
Yes, sir.
That's a main thing for me because you're going to be able to rely on the guys that you can rely on, but those guys are going to be very important, and it's going to be Buddy Hield as well.
Yeah.
Buddy Hield for me is going – if you're coming in this game thinking you're going to be in superstar mode and you're going to look off, like there's been plenty of times where Steph Curry was bucket naked and he takes the shot, and you're like, I mean, I think I even saw one instance where Steve Kerr had to come over and introduce him to Steph Curry.
Yeah.
Hey, buddy, Steph, buddy. He's the greatest shooter.
We give this guy the ball.
You see him, find him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so I think it's a big moment for him. He wants to show success, but he also has to be able to know his place and role.
Love the Kuminga pick because that's the athleticism I think Golden State might need in this series. Stricky, what are the similarities and differences between Buddy Hield for Golden State and what Connor Essegian gave and didn't give Nebraska at times this year?
Say what's the question again? Let me make
Buddy
sure.
Hield versus Connor Essegian. Similarities and differences. In terms of role.
Very similar in the fact that they are needed because of the style of your play. You're a stretch play team. My issue with Buddy Hield is IQ at times. That system is designed that you should have this is why filling in Butler was no problem because he has a super high IQ, right? But Buddy, he just plays and he's a shooter, but you got to have an IQ in the system. You've got to know where guys are going to be, what they're trying to do, and how where your stuff is going to come from. But that's study. You're going to need to know pre-game, and then you're going to need to know what they're doing with the adjustments on site because you're not going to get film on the adjustments. And you're going to have to make the adjustment while you're sitting over there watching or while it's happening while you're on the court. Is Buddy Hield capable of that? I don't know. So that's where I see, how can it happen? Because the matchup to me, young, athletic, just ready to go. I like this matchup, though. I really do. I think this is going to be probably the best matchup I'm looking at.
These franchises hate each other.
Yeah,
Real
I'm looking
bad
at
one.
it. Yeah, I'm looking at this matchup definitely.
Your boy gonna dunk a cake.
You have a Golden State X factor?
I think it's gonna be Jimmy Butler. I think Jimmy Butler, for a variety of reasons, because you know what you're gonna get with Steph, and you're just gonna expect another person to be able to stay. Jimmy Butler, this is it for him. This is it. This is a system that's probably more tailor-made for him than maybe the Heat. He fits in tremendously. He doesn't have to be the alpha edge player because that's Draymond. Now you can be actually a super alpha because when you look over,
you got one with you.
You got one with you.
Yeah.
And now you can dictate the pace. And then also you're going to get a more favorable matchup now, both from experience and what you bring. And especially if
he's a tough matchup, but that's where I say Eason and Thor Thompson are going to have to
right. But then that's where the experience has to come from, and that's where Steve Kerr and you fitting in will just on paper will eliminate that athletic ability gap, and then also from being the number 2 seed,
the pressure's on them.
The pressure's on Houston.
Yeah,
and if they can get Houston to game 5, 6, and 7, I think it drastically goes to Golden State. Houston's got to be thinking that.
We need to get them out of here, gentlemen sweep.
They got to be like Clubber Lang. They, in Rocky 3, we got to get past the 3rd round with it.
Yeah.
If you don't, it's Mike Tyson and Butterbean, you done.
We got one series left to talk about.
Butterbean? Butterbean, boy, he was
Butterbean was throwing haymakers out there.
Butterbean was knocking cats out in 2 rounds or less.
Because he knew.
He coming in. Remember his defense? That's a little bit too old for you.
It's
Remember?
too old for me.
You don't remember Butterbean?
Some classic Butterbean.
Too old for me.
You don't remember Butterbean?
I don't remember Butterbean.
Man, are you serious?
I'm not tripping.
You remember Kimbo Slice?
I know the name. I don't watch them.
Man, they was like when the internet first started taking over, man. Kimbo Slice and Butterbean. Remember Kimbo Slice?
Yeah.
Was fighting in the backyards, and when he knocked out
he had bad knees.
Yeah, he was knocked out the dude in UFC quick. He got them old school punches. Fleet. Ken Shamrock.
They have that here. He was a bare knuckle guy, started out. But
He'd be fighting on his lunch break. Straight up.
I love that.
In the backyard, taking bets.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
We got one series left to talk about. It's Nuggets, Clippers. X factors for that series to wrap up on the block.
Follow Austin, Strick, and On the Block on Twitter at Austin Orman, eStrick20, and On the Block 93.7. More of On the Block coming up.
Spring sports are here and it's time to upgrade your equipment. But don't go rushing to your big box store. Play It Again Sports is your place to go for all spring sports equipment for baseball, softball, golf, and disc golf. Play It Again Sports has quality, slightly to gently used equipment, and 50% of their inventory is actually new equipment. And don't forget, buying from them is a great way to get new products with great discounts by also bringing in your used items for store credit or cash on the spot. Play It Again Sports at 48th and Vine.
At Allo, we go beyond internet, bringing you faster speeds backed by an all-fiber network. We go beyond TV and phone service, delivering reliable, crystal clear connections. We go beyond customer service with local teammates and no robots for a hassle-free experience. We go beyond value, offering transparent prices with no contracts, hidden fees, or data caps. We even go beyond our office doors by working, hiring, volunteering, and living in the communities we serve. Go beyond fiber. Sign up today at allofiber.com.
Are you looking for an exciting new way to put your skills to work? Explore new career options in the fintech industry at Currency, a Sandhills global company. We offer full-time positions in financial sales, compliance, operations, and other fields. We also offer a 4.5-day work week, an attractive benefits package, and opportunities for advancement. Put your motivation to work and grow with us at Currency. Visit gocurrency.com/careers to learn more.
Garage doors can break down or quit working at the worst times. At Doors Plus, they understand that a broken garage door sometimes means repair and not replace. Sometimes, all you need to make your door like new again is a few bolts, a realignment, or even a new balance. Trust the pros at Doors Plus to handle your garage door repair the right way so you can get on with your busy schedule. Visit them online at DoorsPlusLLC.com or give them a call today at 402-590-5800. Doors Plus, garage doors and more.
Gaina Trucking is hiring CDL Class A and B drivers. Their strong team culture makes it not a job, but a career. Gaina Trucking offers health, vision, and dental insurance, 401k with company match, an employee assistance program, and other bonus programs. Build a better career today with great team culture at Gaina Trucking. Learn more and apply today at GainaTrucking.com.
It's the best time of the year to order a new John Deere air seeder during Landmark Implement's Fast Start Early Order program. Take your seeding performance to the next level with John Deere's advanced air seeding technology. Achieve precise seed and fertilizer placement, optimize emergence, and cover more acres with less downtime. Now is the time to lock in the best price of the year during Landmark Implement's Fast Start Early Order program. Contact your Landmark Implement for full details and experience the Landmark difference.
Ever wish you had another light switch on the other side of the room on a dark night? How much better would you sleep at night if you had a ceiling fan in your room? The High Electric Service Department is here to make your electrical what-ifs a reality. Whether you're looking to replace some outdated light fixtures or brighten up your counters with under-cabinet lighting, High Electric can handle all types of residential electrical installations and services. Give Erica a call today at 402-466-6606 or visit high-electric.com to get started.
You grew up on cereal for breakfast and you graduated into drinking coffee at some point as an adult. Now there's a place in Lincoln where you can stay caffeinated but eat like you used to. Control Coffee and Cereal Bar brings Saturday morning vibes to every day with locally roasted specialty coffees, Lotus energy drinks, and tons of breakfast cereals with toppings. And did we mention they have video games to play while you're there too? Control Coffee and Cereal Bar open 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. Monday through Friday and 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. on the weekends at 15th and Pine Lake.
Select Plumbing and Utility has been serving Lincoln and the surrounding area for 14 years, and they're not slowing down. Select Plumbing and Utility handles all your plumbing needs from faucets and water heaters to full renovations, and they can even help with your heating and cooling needs. They're also Lincoln's underground experts, repairing and replacing broken underground water and sewer lines since day one. Contact Select Plumbing and Utility today at 402-560-6197, assuring excellence in every situation, opportunity, and challenge. That's 402-560-6197.
Your home is your empire. Protect it with Empire Fence. Get a free instant quote with the online estimating tool at empire-fence.com. See an upfront estimate with no hidden fees. An Empire Fence can provide privacy and improve the appearance of your home. Keep kids and pets in or out of your yard, increase security, and add value to your property. Visit empire-fence.com now to view the stylish and maintenance-free possibilities for your home and get a free instant online quote. Let Empire Fence protect your empire.
Now back to On the Block with Eric Strickland, Jay Foreman, and Austin Orman.
Welcome back in. Final segment of On the Block for the week. Austin Orman, Jay Foreman, Eric Strickland with you. This segment brought to you by Love Volleyball
Us.
Omaha.
You don't love us. Yes, you do.
Get your season tickets or renew your season tickets, lovboma.com. Stricky, your X Factor in Nuggets Clippers. 4-5 out west. It's going to be another fun one. Excited for that one, too.
Listen, actually, that matchup is actually a fun one, too. Like, there's actually a couple. There's actually a few good matchups right here that's working. That's actually a good one. For me, when you look at, okay, let me make sure. Who we got?
We got the Clips and the Nugs.
Clips and the Nugs. Let's see. Okay. Easy work. Easy work. James Harden needs to finally show up in a playoff series. If they're now, look, they've got some great qualities about them. Look, they play some great basketball. But if James Harden makes it hard for him to put balls in the rim, pause, we're gonna have a problem. Now, on the other side, I'm gonna say it's got to be Porter Jr. I listen, I'm talking about around the board, defensively, blocking shots, running, shooting. All those things need to be in place, I think, for Denver. Like, look, it's a matchup problem because Jokic is the problem for everything Clippers.
Mm-hmm.
So this is why they need, I think, him. You got to be able to hide Jokic, and I think he needs to pick up some slack.
Jay?
Oh, for the Nuggets?
Or Clippers, either one.
You know who I'm going with the Nuggets. Bloodline.
Makes sense. Yeah.
It's time.
I want to hear you say it.
It's time for Bloodline to do
Bloodline.
his thing. Yeah.
Okay.
Bloodline / Alderman, the interim coach.
Adelman.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Or Adelman. They Bloodline plays good. It's an easier series. I guess for the Clippers, I would say Zubac, and essentially, can he not just get destroyed by Joker?
Yeah.
And it's a hard matchup because of the way Joker plays. So if he can play his game and make Joker work, I think it favors the Clippers. And the asterisk is, can they keep James Harden out of the club?
The answer to that is no. James Harden's made the playoffs all 16 seasons of his career, which is something I did not realize, but hasn't necessarily resulted in much for him. No love for Norm Powell?
Not for me.
Norm's legit. To me, he's the second option behind Kawhi for them. Then it's Harden. I know Harden gets the headlines, but we'll call it a weekend on the block right there.
There it is.
David from Renew. Renew your season tickets. Yeah, check out Renew Your Auto. David from Renew. Give him a text. Give him a call for all the great stuff they do for your car there.
No matter 2.2 seconds, he's going to be talking about this steak dinner.
Yeah, I was going to let him have that one. But for Strick, for Jay, I'm Austin. Royals on the air. Jay and I on stream for Old School after this.